Hello, hello. Grand Rising. Oh my fucking goodness. Okay. There's the bell. Let's see what's gonna be juicy today. Wow. Gold. Perfect off that level. So gold finally coming down. Bitcoin should be going up. Yes, at a bit of a standstill here within this order block. We are moving above the 50% level, so I would imagine this runs up at least another 50 points before it hits another resistance. Yeah, we have a little bit of a gap up on the day. Let's see, look at the regular trading hours. Bit of a gap from yesterday's close to today's open. We have no really impactful news today. Wednesday, tomorrow, yeah, no news today to worry about at all, really. Except some crude oil inventories for oil. Tomorrow we have our PPI and retail sales and Fed Chair Powell speaking. So I suspect probably a pretty lackluster day today. And tomorrow we'll have a more convincing move, likely, is what's in store at the moment. God damn it. So I could see we just range up here. We've been ranging up here. This is not a really good high. So come take the high, come back in range would be a reasonable move. We've got our overnight high here. Our overnight low. And our weekly range. So we're just at the top of the range. Nothing to see there. Pivot still below. Yeah, I'm gonna look for a sweep of these highs. And then consider this a possible range day. Obviously with a bullish bias, but we are in resistant zones. So on this big leg, it's obviously been a nice reaction here, 22% over the last 37 days. From on this leg, we've retraced, above, we're about to be, at this point, we've retraced, over 78%. It is likely we go take the all-time highs now, as these aren't very clean, but we've got this old range. I would probably put it like this. Looks like we did reclaim it. Time to move up to about the midpoint. So moving up to 6,000 seems like the next logical move. With no news today and a pretty big news day tomorrow, and how it's been trading up here since it's come up, I'm leaning towards a bit of a range day and just trade the extremes, but we'll see. We shall see. So within this range, so we broke out around here, coming up to that value area low. So pretty reasonable to say that we take the high, come back in range, maybe take the low later, come back in tomorrow, run up to 6,000 or something. That's the idea that I would be focused on here in the morning. So overnight high has been swept already, and we can check the index, see if anything looks different over here. The index. Yeah, I mean, obviously we just had this big gap down here and we have one down here as well. None of these need to be filled instantly. This one did, but likely won't. Yeah, at this point it's hard to say that there's really anything holding us back at the moment. So take the high, come back, fill this gap. So then if we just take the volume profile for this range, you can see the distribution is becoming pretty normally distributed. So we just want to see a tail, come back in. View up. We have a naked pivot down here, so here, back in, Actually, like this. Be like how we trade today. Something like that. So NQ is going to tell a very similar story. We gapped up above the 200 SMA. At some point, I think we come back, retest this, but then we're in bullish posturing again. This one has retraced. Yeah, a little bit deeper than ES. Plenty of room to run here. Actually, let's do our little Monday extension. I haven't checked those in a while. So I just swept the high already. This already looks gross. This would be kind of nice, I guess. I am expecting a bit of a range day, but let's see, come back up here and then run up here and then come back into range. Maybe have a wider distribution here on NQ. As we did hit the midpoint of this weekly imbalance. All right, so this imbalance, if we just look at the 50%, so perfect spot for some resistance before wanting to fill all of it, come back and retest the bottom of that imbalance. Weekly chart already up 6%. Hey there, Dr. Stream Dater. Good to see you, sir. Cheers to you. Yeah, MNQ, this is the micro NASDAQ futures. Micro E-mini NASDAQ 100 index futures. So I like to look about like 5 markets in the morning. This is one of them. Then obviously I was just looking at ES, MES, which is the micro E-mini S&P 500 index futures. In here we can look at Bitcoin. Just one second. Let's see if we have a... this has more of a reason to go back up and take the high, so I'm gonna place some bits here real quick. Hold on. Hold on here. So NQ did sweep that high pretty aggressively. That was a 60-point move. ES left this high, did sweep the overnight high. See if we get another bounce up into here and then back into range. Gonna see how this bounces here. And then we can check out the Bitcoiners. But unfortunately, I don't think Bitcoin is going back to 74K right now, which sucks. Because we, went down into our 70Ks, but didn't get as long. I wanted to stay down longer and to go down just a little deeper. Now that it's come up so fast and on low volume, the move after is going to be even worse. I don't think anyone's really that bullish right now. It's like, what do? We just go back up to like 120, 130K and then just tank again? I don't know. That's what it's looking like at the moment. We'll see, though. Doesn't really matter. Unfortunately, I just kind of missed that long from the bottom. Alright, so we want to see a bounce possibly out of this level. Gold finally took that low. Gold coming into the 618. Okay, here we go. Pretty good move down after sweeping the overnight high. Wow, very ugly 30-minute candle on ES here. Do I know Josh Mandel on Twitter? Yeah, I've heard that name. What about him? I'm not too familiar with his work, but name sounds familiar. All right, looks like this is actually just going to go right through it. Come out the other side of the range down to this naked pivot. Yeah, so I wouldn't like a long out of there. Wow. Pretty nasty, to be honest. We'll see if we continue just to make it a range here, in which we have our, the beginning of the range. Yeah, just go into here. He called his really interesting takes. Gets very metaphysical, psychic, foretelling. Ooh, I like that. That's cool. He called 84K on the dot a few months ago. Says BTC will go to 444K, I think, soon. $84K on March 14th. So let's look at all this. Let's look at Bitcoin here. On that day, reached a high of 85.2. So I guess he was just saying by that day that it'll be around 84K. What did he say about the low, or where it was going from the low? Did it though? Let's see. On what contract? Like BTC futures closed at 84.4K. So yeah, pretty close. That's still impressive. Well, okay, so Bitcoin, just like look at it here objectively. This was our major range when we first broke out of this big weekly upward parallel channel, right? So it broke out, consolidated and ranged here for a bit. And so that's this range. And so that's our distribution here. We bottomed here at 74K, which really was just an SR flip of this old high. So, I mean, very technical. Came back up, blasted right into the top side of that parallel channel, and we came back into this range, reclaimed this lower area, that value area low, and then got stuck here at the point of control for a bit, in which we retested the top side of that channel as well as this high, and then we blasted back up into the value area high of this, in which now it looks like we have kind of reclaimed outside of this channel to where we would go, and next obvious spot would just be all-time highs. So yeah, I'm definitely not as bearish on it anymore, but I can see right here, you know, us getting a retest at that 96, 97 level, and then we go up. To how far, I don't know, but I would say anyway from here is probably now a very reasonable low risk short, just like below these lows up to, I mean long, sorry, up to these highs. The only thing that I would do here, or that you could do, is you just take like a 1x hedge short right here. So if you have like a bunch of longs open from down here or on alts, you could just buy an equivalent or purchase an equivalent value short just to neutralize the portfolio around here, so that if it comes down here, you can de-hedge and then look for another entry. But then if it just goes up above the high, you could release that short and let the longs run. So this is definitely like a hedge area. So just taking it from like a trading perspective, I really don't give a fuck one bit where it fucking goes or where anything goes. I just want to trade it. I don't care if it goes to 0 or 1 billion. None of it fucking matters to me at all. Just looking at it from like a portfolio management perspective is the only thing I like to look at it from. So it does look like, you know, it's tough. I mean, I don't have a crazy bias on this. You know, obviously this was kind of the last area for a good short to come back down and reaccumulate down here, like throughout the summer, and then go up. That's what I would like. But it doesn't matter what I like. The chart is telling us now that it wants to go up. But really, like, the only good way from a trading perspective is just kind of waiting for this retracement here, and then taking like a 1x hedge short right here, and then just letting it run and see how far it can run, and just trailing it on the way up. We can look at some Fibonacci extensions and see where that could lead us. Just from, we look at like this low to that high. You can see that our top was right at the 7.5 extension. Yeah. All right, yeah, this is getting pretty technical. I definitely think it would be nice to see a retracement back and retest this level. Retest 96K, that would be probably a pretty good long opportunity to run it up to probably 122K next. So like, this is probably what I'll be watching for or looking for is just something like around like this. This would be kind of the trade that I'd be looking for. Like good 5.5 to 1 RR trade. Yeah, that looks good. It's just right where it is right this second. I don't have much, like, you know, taking a short here just to hedge the portfolio is very reasonable, but with how, you know, Bitcoin likes to make these little upward accumulations where it just kind of slowly drifts up, and it makes it doesn't take like liquidity before it moves, which usually is a little worrisome, because like even back here, this happened. We were doing that on, even before we made the big move here. We didn't move until we had a massive liquidity grab. You could say that was this one, but this one didn't really have a crazy wick or anything. So yeah, but when we look at the futures contract, like, I mean, everything was pretty technical, like in hindsight. It didn't really need to go even any farther. It was just more of like letting this consolidate here and then really run up later in the year. I feel like would have given it more firepower. But I mean, if you notice, like this whole candle, it got filled completely, retested the all-time high, and then you see this little pattern right here. where's the ray? Right here, this little 3 drives pattern or 3 Indians pattern, where you have your first arrival candle, second one wicks it, third one wicks it, and then we shoot up. I mean, this is all very bullish posturing. That's definitely a very bullish trade pattern. Like whenever I see stuff like that, you want to look for, like, you know, the longs. So now, you know, you got to be able to flip your bias and just trade level to level. So, you know, if this doesn't take the high first, then just looking for a really simple, you know, simple retracement, and then back up to take the high. Kind of all she wrote. Other than that, you know, I don't know how deep it could go. So then from like just today, are there any trading opportunities? Gotta look at it as like a range from like right around here. Pretty tight. Chilling in the middle of the range. There's not really an opportunity I see at the moment. Like that just jumps out at me. We have like this nasty candle. We came up into it. A lot of indecision here. Just not a fan of really. I just don't see like an immediate trade opportunity. I mean, with assuming that this would be the hedge area and that we would have a retracement, then I guess you would be looking for some way to enter a short, and maybe this candle on Monday was kind of your local high for like the next week. But this really is not giving me great price action. It's one of those situations where I don't even really need to trade this asset at all. Just watch it. You know, don't have to be in a position on every market. There's plenty of other ones to trade. So just look for whatever one looks the cleanest, and don't give a fuck about anything else. Yeah, if we look at our liquidation levels too. Came down into this imbalance, hit that monthly pivot perfectly. If this were the high, our next liquidation level would be back into this consolidation retest. So that'd work out real nicely. Of course, we had the full moon. So if we look at like just the total market cap, let's see. How does that look? Yeah, came back into this consolidation. I mean, yeah, crypto is looking like, at least with Bitcoin, to see the crypto without Bitcoin and ETH. Yeah, I just expect a little bit of a retracement and then Bitcoin all-time highs again. And, you know, will the broader market follow though? ETH and the alts and stuff, like, that's the only thing that worries me. Those don't really look, even though they're all in prime positions to pump, I'm not seeing a lot of, like, it's not my favorite chart with how it just swiped the liquidity up there. Like, I don't know how much of a pump this will get. But that's the great thing, is like, it doesn't really matter depending on what your style is. Like for me, it doesn't really matter because I'm only interested in just trading the asset when it gets to a level, not like buying and holding really. So I could be totally wrong about it alt pumping forever. It won't really phase me because I just won't even be looking at them in that way anyways. I'll just be looking at this, looking for low risk trade entries down here. But yeah, this would be nice if this would just fall over a little bit over the next few days, come back down. We probably would have to consolidate because it's a huge level. I mean, it could even do something like crazy, like one big wick real quick to take all these lows out, come back, consolidate, and go back up. But yeah, 96, 97, 95 to 97 on Bitcoin, looking for retracements. Now back to the equity indices. These are looking like absolutely trash bags this morning. Glad we haven't entered anything because not looking too smooth. What about gold? Gold should have just hit the 618 pretty much. So expect a bounce here, but expecting a bit lower on that. So we'll see. You know, we have this. It finally took this low. One try, two tries, boom. So we'll see if we have a little bit of a failed breakdown and it comes back up into this gap. That would be ideal. Long opportunity on gold. And then now that it did take these lows, I don't know if I'd be looking for the short. Probably just be waiting for it to come take this low again, hit the 618. Into this order block. Yeah, I mean, would like this fractal to play out here. On gold, so probably have to wait through tomorrow. This closes this way and we get a move into this order block, short down to here, and then we get another move back up, possibly. We did get a 4-hour closure below this low, which was our prior sell side liquidity target. So if it were to come back in here, then we would expect something like this come back, tap, 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 down. That's what I'd be looking for. I'm not gonna play the long yet. This is just not giving any opportunities. It would be nice to get a trade this morning, but I'm not gonna force anything if it's not there. Alright, just look at this ugly. Guess I'll do my farming run. I got a new 15-minute candle. Hopefully get some movement here now that 10:30, at least by 10:30 I'd expect a little bit of a move to extend out of this range down into this naked pivot, maybe back up to take this high if it doesn't go the other way first. But yeah, this is definitely one of those mornings where some people's accounts are gonna get blown up. This is very boring. Just gosh. Of course, the one day I have streamed the market this week, it's got to be a very sleepy one. Okay. So Bitcoin looking for a bit of a move down here. Trying to begin that. So it might be an opportunity here on the Bitcoiners. Wick. All this is mitigated. This wick tapped into about 50% of it. It is still kind of just a range. It might not move until tomorrow when we actually have some news and Jay Powell will be speaking. So looks like it might just fill out this zone. Like it could probably range in this little area all day. It'd be boring as fuck, but that could happen. Alright, initial balance will close here in an hour. 4 minutes. Should give a little bit of direction. Because this will be our IB high, IB low. We will have about a range of 27 points on initial balance. Not that wide, but not too tight. not taken one single trade this morning. Oil inventories coming out here in a minute. Should move this market. All these wicks down here make me think it wants to come up there, but that's too early to tell. All right, so initial balance, and we're just right in the middle of the range. Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness gracious. One of those days where you just have to identify that the price action is kind of shitty. And you're just better off kind of sitting on your hands than trying to force a trade. And here we go with the Bitcoins. Will it just come back down to the bottom of this range or what? Or does it begin its trek down? To be determined here. But let's watch in the futures contract. There might be an optional play here. So this high. Yep. Just another sweep into the middle of the range. Come on, let's get like a move like this. See how some of these altcoins are looking like. So weekly candle closed above this, created an order block. It has retraced about to the golden pocket. So in a resistance area. Come back down briefly. And this volume from down here to here. Ooh. Yeah, this looks like if Bitcoin comes down week come down to like 350. Looks pretty good. Pretty choppy daily here. But yeah, it does look like it's getting ready to run over down here. So Bitcoin, yep, just a bounce at the point of control. Nothing to see here at all, anywhere. People are really waiting for tomorrow for producer price index numbers, retail sales, and Jerome Powell speaking tomorrow. Okay. Honestly, there's literally nothing happening in the markets right now. It's just a waste of time at the moment. I'm just gonna call it a morning for trading, at least. Go do some other stuff. I guess all I'll be looking for the rest of the day is just a move down to 880s, or move back up to like 59.35. Everything around here, just no trade. Possible long back into range, possible short back into range, and then looking for, yeah, everything's just gonna be ranging here. Probably not really any actionable items. So, all right.